Hey guys, me and Will today. In today's video we'll be talking about the first game of the Tri-Nations as well as the third match of the Bledisloe Cup between Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, this game is very interesting, with New Zealand and Australia drawing the first Bledisloe Cup match 16-0 and then New Zealand winning the second game by I think over 20 points at Eden Park, so that was kind of expected. And now this third match is very interesting because if New Zealand do win this match, they have won the Bledisloe Cup. But if Australia were to pull an upset, then next week's game will be a lot more important, obviously, because Australia and New Zealand are playing against each other once again for the final time. And whoever wins that match will then win the Bledisloe Cup. But that's only the case if Australia win this week. So yeah, this is a big week for both teams, really, because if New Zealand do win, they win. But if Australia do win, then they just, they push it along for another week. But yeah, the game's being played at ANZ Stadium in Sydney, so Australia do have the home advantage this time compared to the last two games that they've played against each other. So hopefully that might come into Australia's in favour, really, because they haven't had a lot of fans to really support them throughout the last two games. I mean, obviously a lot of people have been watching online, which is great to see, but yeah, you really want them to be in person. So yeah, I think will definitely help Australia, at least boost them up, boost their confidence a bit more up going into the match. But yeah, anyway, let's go through both the sides. Yeah, starting off with Australia, with number 1, they've selected James Slipper. At number 2, they're going with Brandon Pengambosa. At 3, they're going with Alana Atoa. At 4, they're going with Lachlan Sai-Kai-Loto. At 5, they're going with Matt Phillip. At 6, they're going with Ned Halligan. At 7, they're going with Michael Hooper, who's the captain, of course. And at 8, they're going with Harry Wilson. So yeah, just going off that forward pack, it's kind of probably a similar forward pack to last game, really. They haven't really done a lot of changes within that area. They're stuck with James Slipper and Alana Atoa to start for the starting props, which I think is pretty interesting because Taniela Tupou was pretty good, I'd say, within that first game. But yeah, Alana Atoa just brings a lot more experience, you can say. He's still the better prop, but of course Taniela Tupou has a lot more potential to become one of the best props, you could say, within the world. But we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, Alana Atoa, I love the bits. He actually does a lot for the Brumbies, and yeah, he's a solid rugby player. But yeah, they also have Brandon Pengambosa, who's the hooker for this game, and yeah, I couldn't agree more, really. I mean, he's had a lot of good performances for the Reds, and with Jordan Uwasi on the bench, it's kind of a good thing to have, really, for him to start the game. So yeah, moving on to the lead locks, they have Lachlan Sai-Kai-Loto and Matt Phillip, and I'm not really going to argue against that. I mean, those two have probably been the best two locks within Super Rugby Aotearoa, Super Rugby AU, and yeah, they definitely deserve to start. And they were actually, I really like Sai-Kai-Loto. I think he's a great lock for Australia. So hopefully he has a good game. So yeah, moving on to the loose forwards with Ned Halligan, Michael Hooper, and Harry Wilson. It's an interesting one. I mean, personally, I would rather have. I like having Harry Wilson within the side. Don't get me wrong. I love Harry Wilson for what he's done for the Reds. He's a lot of ball carrying meters, so he'll get you that. But Michael Hooper, he's just a great tackler and everything. But Ned Halligan's the interesting one because he's had a lot of mixed performances, you could say, for the Waratahs within Super Rugby AU. But some of those games, he's been outstanding, and then within some of them, he's just been like, it just wasn't his day. So yeah, no, we'll see what happens within this game. I mean, hopefully he has a good game. He's probably the one to watch there, I'd say, within that forward pack, because you don't know if he'll have a good game or not. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll definitely keep an eye on him for sure within the game. So yeah, moving on to the backs. For number 9, this led to Nick White. At number 10, they're going Noah Laseo. And at number 11, they're going with Marika Corbetti. At 12, they're going with Israel Simone. At 13, they're going with Jordan Bataya. At 14, they're going with Filippo Dangadu. And at 15, they're going with Dane Halapeli. So it's a very interesting back line. They've made a lot of changes within their back line, mostly within this game compared to last week's game. And yeah, my word, there's some big names who've been left out, but obviously due to injury. I mean, with the first one, the one I noticed straight away is James O'Connor is not in the side. He's not even on the bench. But that's due to him having a minor injury, I'd say. But if I do recall, I remember Dave Rennie saying within his press conference that he will return for the next match. So it's just a minor injury. But because he's injured, we get the introduction of Noah Laseo, who starts at 10 for the Wallabies, which I think is great because he definitely deserves to be, have a chance to actually shine within this Wallabies squad because he's always been left out, obviously because James O'Connor and what he's done so far, and you can't blame him really. I mean, James O'Connor's actually been brilliant throughout Super Rugby AU, and he did pretty well within the first two matches. So I can see why they wouldn't select it. But Noah Laseo, so much promise, and he can play 10 or 12, so he's kind of like James O'Connor in that sense. And yeah, he is a playmaker. He is brilliant playmaker. So it'll be interesting to see what he does within this game, and hopefully he can make an impact for the Wallabies. But yeah, moving on to the winners. They have Corbetty and Felipe Dangado. I mean, both of them have been clinical, you could say, within that first game. Both of them getting a try in that game. The second game they weren't actually too. They went missing essentially, so you didn't really get to see a lot of them due to the All Blacks just playing really well and Caleb Clark just doing what he does. But yeah, I mean, hopefully Corbetty and Dangado can get a try in this game. Hopefully we can see them really clinical, I'd say. But yeah, also with the scrum half with Nick White. Personally, I would have preferred having Tate McDermott give him a try and just see how he does. But obviously, I think what they'll do is that this is the more important game, so I understand why you're going to bring Nick White in, you're going to keep him on. But if they do lose, I would suggest to put Tate McDermott within the next game. Just give him a shot really against a really good opposition. That's what I would do. But yeah, with the centre spots, that's very interesting. They have Israel Simone, who's come into the Wallabies squad, which I think is great. They've had a lot of they've had the injury with Matt Tamura, so it's good to see that Simone has been included within this game, and he's starting, which is even better because he's been brilliant for the Brumbies throughout Super Rugby AU. So yeah, we'll see how he does. And yeah, Jordan Battaglia, he was great throughout both games really. I mean, he made an impact within that the first game he made an impact. Second game he started, but yeah, hopefully he has another good game. And yeah, Dane Hanapelli, that's an interesting one. That's probably the most interesting one I'd say out of all the backs. They put him back into the starting lineup, which I find pretty surprising because I personally thought that Tom Bench did pretty well, but yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see how he does. I mean, I think he's probably a better player in the air when we're getting the ball, so we'll see how that works. But they do have Reece Hodge off the bench, so we'll see how that works in that case. But yeah, just what I was talking about within the bench, they have the likes of Jordan Uwasi, they have Scott Seo, they have Taniao Tupou, Rob Simmons, they have Fraser McWright, he's a once-to-watch player, definitely to come off the bench. Tate McDermott, who was saying before, hopefully can make an impact. And Reece Hodge and Hunter Basami. So yeah, they have decent players in there who can definitely make an impact in that second half. And yeah, hopefully Australia can bring their A game really. They are playing at home in front of their home crowd. So yeah, this is a big test for Australia, and hopefully they can get that win. So I do think the last time they played at ANZ Stadium, Australia did win. So this should be an interesting game. But yeah, moving on to the All Blacks. So yeah, the All Blacks has named, I'd say probably a very similar squad to the second match 2 weeks ago. They have at number 1 they've named Carlton Moafe at number 1. At 2 they're going with Dan Coles. At 3 they're going with Arthur Tungafasi. At 4 they're going with Patrick Tuipulotu. At 5 they're going with Sam Whitelock. At 6 they're going with Shannon Brazil. At 7 they're going with Sam Cane, who's the captain of the side. And at 8 they're going with Hoskin Sotutu. So yeah, the forward pack is probably the interesting bit within this All Black side. They've actually included a few new names within that, with Carlton Moafe taking over the place of Alex Hodgman within that second game. So it's kind of a swap really, because both of them are kind of similar in the sense where they both are very good within that scrum. So hopefully he can make an impact within that game. And yeah, with Dan Coles, I love watching Dan Coles. He's so, I'm not going to say he's underrated because everyone knows how good he is, but he's so good in ball carries and just finding spaces and offloading the ball. Yeah, I love watching him. So hopefully he does that. Hopefully he is a good game. And yeah, same with Arthur Tungafasi. I mean, he's very similar to Carlton Moafe, and both of them could be pretty good within that scrum. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, moving on to the locks. They have the likes of Tuipulotu and Samuel Whitelock. So Whitelock's has come back in place of Tupou Valai, so that's good to see. I think he might have had an injury, I'm not too sure, but yeah, you want Whitelock over Valai at this point, really. It's a very important match for the All Blacks if they do win this match. And yeah, Tuipulotu's been great throughout the whole 2 games so far, so yeah, I'm not really going to say much more. He's been brilliant, really. So yeah, moving on to the loose forwards, they've selected Brazil, Kane, and Hoskin Sotutu. So yeah, Brazil and Kane, kind of expected really. They've both been brilliant for the All Blacks from within both games, and they both started, so kind of expected. But Hoskin Sotutu has taken over Artie Sevilla, with Artie Sevilla being sidelined. I think I couldn't remember his paternity maybe, or I forgot what it was. But I know he's sidelined for this match. He's not even on the bench, but yeah, I mean Hoskin Sotutu, but he's been brilliant throughout Super Rugby Aotearoa. So I'm just glad to see he's getting his chance. I mean, and this is an important game. So if he makes a, if he has a good game, then this is gonna be it's gonna be a tough call for Arian Foster, and who he decides to be like the future number 8, really. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully Holston's Tutu has a great game. I'm really hoping he has a Blues fan as well as just a neutral. I think everyone wants him to have a good game. So yeah, moving on to the backs. At number 9, they selected Aaron Smith. At 10, they're going Richie Mo'unga. At 11, they're going Caleb Clark. At 12, they're going Jack Goodhue. At 13, they're going Antalada Brown. At 14, they're going Jordy Barrett. And at 15, they're going with Bowden Barrett. So I know it's a very interesting side, really. I mean, they haven't made any changes in that back line from the previous match they played. And yeah, I mean, it actually worked very well. So I'm not really going to argue a lot with that. I mean, Aaron Smith was actually brilliant throughout that game, and he got that try. So he was great throughout that match. Richard Mo'unga, to be honest, I didn't really notice him as much within that game. That might have been just me, but I think he just had an average game, really. I mean, Caleb Clark was brilliant throughout the last game. I mean, brilliant. I mean, he got a standing ovation. So yeah, hopefully it's another good game for the All Blacks. And yeah, with the centres, with Jack Goodhue and Antalada Brown, kind of expected, really, with Rico not having his he's always gonna get shot down for that first game for not swinging that try, but yeah, you're gonna go with 2 reliable centres, really, with Goodhue and Antalada Brown, and they have a lot of chemistry for a lot of games, so kind of expected in that area. And yeah, with 14 and 50 with Jordy Barrett and Bowden Barrett, kind of expected again with Jordy Barrett taking the long kicks and all the kicks in general, and Bowden Barrett being Bowden Barrett at 15 and just doing his bit, really. So yeah, it'll be an interesting game, really, for both sides. And yeah, with the bench for the All Blacks, they have Cody Taylor, Alex Hodgman, they have the likes of Tara Lomax, Scott Barrett, Dr. Papali, they have TJ Perinar, they have Nakele Amape, and they have Rico Lani. So yeah, they have a lot of good players off the bench, as you can expect. I mean, hopefully for me personally, I love Leamape and the way he plays, so hopefully you can make an impact off the game, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because this is going to be a very, very interesting match. But yeah, I mean, that's really it with both sides. If I had to make a prediction for the game, it's going to be so difficult to say. I mean, the thing is that Australia have gone with more of a younger squad, and Australia have gone with more of a younger squad. New Zealand have gone with more of an experienced squad. And when I'm looking at past results and the way it has always worked, experience always gets the better of younger quality. So I'm going to have to go with the All Blacks for this one, but I'm going to say it'll be a tight game, and I'm going to say the All Blacks won this game by, I'll say, 25-23. I'll say 23-25 to the All Blacks. That's what I'm going to go for. I think they won it by 2 points. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's it for today, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.